Hey, what's going on, guys? Nothin But Boom, and today I'm bringing you guys an episode actually of Vainglory. I actually haven't done this game in a while, since the update 1.5 came out, which was actually a pretty long time ago. They're actually getting ready for 1.6, so I'd like to go ahead and do another episode. Definitely, I am back from the break. I actually posted a video before. It said, "Where have I been?" And I kind of explained the situation. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it here. Basically, I was on exams. And decided to take a little break from making videos so I can dedicate time to studying. As you can see, I think the enemy team probably went AFK here because you can see that Taka and both Jewel were just kind of standing in the same exact spot. Very interesting glitch there, or not glitch, but just disconnect. As you can see, we're taking the gold mine. Just to go ahead and intro the video a little bit better, I am playing Celeste. Looks like the gold miner is going to kill that Taka there. Unfortunately, Arden comes back to try to steal it, which he's not going to be able to. He's going to go ahead and go after the Jewel. And I try to just protect Jewel at all costs. He blood for bloods, which is his punch, out of the stun. Hopefully you guys are familiar with the games. I'm going to be using some ability names of some abilities that maybe you aren't familiar with, but I try to do the very basics of shoutcasting because I'm by no means a professional shoutcaster, but I try to at least narrate over what's going on. But yeah, just to intro the video a little bit more. Some actions started before. I'm playing Celeste, who's a mage. In case you haven't played her before, very crystal heavy build. I normally go in Eve of Harvest, Shatterglass. Depending on if you're ahead or not, I'd probably go Shatterglass first. If you're not ahead, go for Eve of Harvest because it gives you energy plus lifesteal, so that may be the better route, but you're definitely going to need the Eve of Harvest eventually, or at least a Void Battery if you really don't want that Eve of Harvest, which I don't see why you wouldn't. It's a great item. It did get nerfed a little bit, but they kind of made up for it. They decreased the crystal lifesteal and they increased the crystal power. So as you can see, my team's fighting down here. I'm going to go ahead and I see the gold miner is ours, so I'm going to release an ult down. Which actually misses, I believe. It's going to come on, Heliogenesis is going to go on to Jewel. That Core Collapse stun is actually going to hit onto Arden, but the Jewel big red button completely melts me, and I'm actually going to go down there, unfortunately. As you can see, the gold miner is aggroing them the entire time, so they have time, or Jewel, or our Jewel is just trying to stall out, which obviously is not working. She is going to live. I'm going to go ahead and respond as fast as I can. And Arden's going to come back for some reason, try to get the kill on Jewel. Arden's blood for blood counts as a basic attack, so it's not going to do a lot of damage because Jewel has armor from the front and sides. So it's not going to do as much damage as he thinks, and he's building tanky anyway. If he was building weapon, it might have done a little bit more damage, but definitely was not a good decision from him to going in, or of him to go in. So, little bit of farming here. Use the Heliogenesis for last hit when you need to, but mostly just basic attacking. As you can see, these minions down. Mostly 2 or 3 basic attacks, plus the minions aggroing, depending on how many minions will do. It's just kind of something that you learn over time. And most of the time, people don't get all of them, but most of the time you will get hopefully 2 out of 4 as the wave comes through, and then a little bit more. Right here, I accidentally X'd out, or, clicked the home button of the, for the game. And then I just came right back in, but that's okay. Looks like Jewel's coming up here, Burnside. She's not going to be able to do anything. Taka's just kind of bullying her back. And as you can see, my Heliogenesis, 1 more level on those, and I get 2 more meters, I guess they call them in this game, of range. So I did not have the range as she was walking away to actually land the Heliogenesis, which is those A ability. It's the stars, by the way. In this match, I actually don't get an Eve until later, if not at all. I remember going to Shatterglass, and I try to run out of it. I remember that's there. I haven't gotten a reflex block yet, so I try to stun and then ult, and I do a really actually good amount of damage. I got another Heliogenesis down, so now everybody is down. Jewel comes out with actually Crystal Jewel, and I try to tell them to bring the fight to the gold miner because the gold miner will aggro enemy heroes that are causing your team to go in distress. As you can see, their Taka is going ham, and he's actually going to take the Jewel out before she can jump. Now they're going to go for gold miner. This is actually a really interesting exchange. They figure, wow, okay, what's a 1v2? Our Taka comes in, he takes out the Arden, Gold Miner is aggroing both of them at the same time, he goes invis clutch, and then the Taka knows that he has to back off because he's not going to be able to finish it without the Gold Miner killing him. He backs off right before the Gold Miner gets the last hit, and I was almost there as well, so he would not be able to have gotten that. So very interesting exchange there. He wasn't able to get the gold for his team, which would have been almost 300. So definitely, you know, something to get the tide turning back in their favor. As you can see, I got that last hit. For some reason, it didn't look right, but I actually still got it. Land the stun right on Burnside there. She's going to go ahead and finally run away. It seems like she's staying in that for so long. Took so much damage that she really didn't need to. I'm going to try to go ahead and poke. As you can see, when the heliogenesis is max, which I recommend doing ASAP, you want to use that to poke because you get so much range on that after. Most people use that as, you know, her basic attack because she has CP. As you can see, I get jumped. I obviously did not see them coming because I figured my team was there and then I was in that bush right above them. So it was very interesting that they were able to gank. I think Taka invised and then pounced on me, so that was unfortunate. I definitely did not do the best in this game. I got carried mostly by... Well, probably not carried because I did a lot of damage. The thing is, I did a lot of damage. I didn't get any of the kills because I would ult. I would use heliogenesis. I would get them down to very little health, and then Jewel would ult and kill a lot of them, and then she would use her Thunder Strike and kill, you know, finish it off or whatever it was. But it never seemed. I got like 4 kills, I think, this game. It never seemed like I got the last hit on it, which was fine. I didn't really care. As long as, you know, we won the game. A lot of people think it looks better, you know, if you did better, but if you win, then you must have been doing something right. Unless your team is just that good that they're able to carry you, I mean. So as you can see, I'm just poking there a little bit. Jewel was, you know, dragging her feet getting out of there, so I took advantage of that. Getting some last hits on there. Here you can see Taka comes back in. I go ahead, boots out, because I don't want to get picked off again. But as you can see, that's the damage that Taka can do to a Celeste. He's terrifying. He's the probably #1 person that is, you know, annoying to a Celeste. As you can see there, I pick up the reflex block, and then I believe I pick up a crystal bit. But yeah, Taka and then Crawl. If Crawl can jump in on you and then Shiver Steal, he can prevent you from getting away. And yes, you can still drop your heliogenesis, but if he has the Dead Man's Rush, he has the Smite, he has so much health between those two items that you're not even gonna be able to kill him, which is just very unfortunate with him. As you can see here, they're just focusing Jewel. They're just letting me focus them down. I take out, well, as you can see, I don't get the last hit on Arden there. Jewel does, but, you know, I did most of the damage in that fight, and that's going to be an ace. So they were fighting when they really shouldn't have been in that situation. So Jewel and Taka and myself going to go ahead and take down the turret. I believe, no, I don't push for a second one because they were already up. Still 12 minutes into game. Regen timers are fairly short. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off these minions and then regroup with my team back at the bottom. As you can see, they are taking they're taking the minions of the enemy jungle. Here comes Jewel. I did not want that to turn into a 2v3. However, it did not, and we were good to go. So I go ahead and take those. I actually got a little bit of lag there, so I wasn't able to get the last hit on that minion. But I got to go ahead and pick up the Eclipse Prism, and I believe a Void Battery as well after I realized that I have enough money for it. And we're going to go ahead and get into another fight. So this match, I actually do end up going double Shatterglass. Just the damage, I probably could have gone an Eve and it would have worked out better. As you can see, Taka's pouncing on me now. Ridiculous amounts of damage. I am going to go down, but not before I get the Solar Storm in, which is going to, you know, obviously get Taka down to very little health. Jewel's ultimate from the enemy Jewel actually is going to come in. I thought that was ours for a second. Bieber Fan is just fighting. He's fighting. He's just trying to get him down. As you can see, our Jewel's going to get a failed Rocket Leap there. Burnside and Arden, what's Arden's name? I don't really know. Am I Pro, are going to retreat. Burnside's going to get a Vanguard from the Arden. I can't see what's actually happening, but it looks like Taka is going to get both of those kills. It was a very close fight. You could just know by looking at it. Everybody was low. Taka maybe had some lifesteal. I'm not actually sure. I didn't check. But as you can see, I'm 2-6 now, but I'm doing most of the damage in this fight. I did one where I did most of the damage in the lane fight. I did most of the damage in the jungle fight, but Jewel's getting all the last hits, or last, you know, killing blows, whatever you want to call it. So unfortunately, I'm not getting the credit for that, but I am getting a lot of assists. I have 5 assists so far. So let's go and keep moving. Got both of the, you know, minions there. Was thinking about going for an Eve, but I waited for Shatterglass. Probably not my best decision, but I really wanted that damage in that game because I knew that we were ahead, even though I wasn't staying alive the most. Jewel, for some reason, got very cocky. She went on a 2v1. We were ahead, but we weren't that ahead. I go ahead and throw the stun. I try to stay back a little bit. Now I realize that I'm caught in the middle of a 1v3, so I reflex block and then run out with my boots. Taka is hopefully able to finish off the enemy Taka. I'm going to go ahead and ult. It's not going to hit the Taka, who is actually going to split to the north of me. And actually all three of them are going to get away that fight. So that was very unfortunate. Didn't really go how we wanted to. Taka didn't really want to engage. He was just kind of sitting back and watching me fight. And then he's like, oh gosh, he's in trouble. I should probably go in. Here we catch Arden out, and then Jewel jumps in, Taka jumps in. Just not a good fight, and Taka obviously is going to take me down. Like I said, the #1 enemy to Celeste. He can pounce on you. He can, right when you try to stun him, he can avoid the stun. Actually, Jewel gets a good rocket leap off there, but our Taka is not going to go down because he has the Kaku. He has the box. But as you can see, I'm going to pick up the Shatter Glass there. Probably should have gone for the Eve and probably should have gone for more defense, which I actually do after that, so that's good. But yeah, I think the Eve Shatter Glass combo instead of the double Shatter Glass probably would have been better, but instead of having 300, or instead of having, I think it's 65 on the Eve plus 150, I'm having 150 plus 150, which is, 300. So I would have just over 200 with the Eve, or double Shatter Glass, I have 300 for what it was worth, and then I had Crystal Infusion later. So let's go ahead and move down here. We're getting to the point in late game where we want to start picking up some infusions. They have almost 5 fountains. They're building very, very tanky. It was pretty actually shockingly tanky. I've never seen a Taka build 2 fountains before. It was very, very interesting. So we're going to go ahead. We see them in lane because we see them farming minions. We don't know when they're going to come down. We obviously see them coming down here. I'm going to go ahead and throw the stun. As you can see, Taka's on me from the, just this second. And that's not the reason I'm posting, just because it was a fail. But we are able to come back from it, which is why I'm pretty proud of this match. But Taka's going to take out the enemy Taka, and now he's going to go ahead and go after them. I can't shoutcast right now because I was buying. Taka's just sitting in the box. He didn't take out the enemy Taka before he took out the enemy Jewel. And now all that Taka needs is one more X-Retsu, which he doesn't seem like he has. Our Taka's juking him as best he can, but it was, a little bit too, cocky, and it was a second before I respawned, literally 1 second. So it did count as an ace for them. I used my boots to go ahead and get up to try to save our turret, but they are obviously pretty tanky. Like, I'm doing a good amount of damage to Taka, but not as much as I would like to. Actually, yeah, the Supernova was pretty nice. But yeah, he has a fountain, so pretty good amount of shield on that. Aegis is obviously a lot better if you want to literally just counter shield, but fountain is a better team item, so you see a lot of tanks building fountain over Aegis, because Aegis is just, for yourself. So I check the bush. I go ahead and take out these minions. All you need is 1 Heliogenesis and then 2 auto attacks. You could also use just 2 Heliogenesis place right. But for that, I just decided to use basic attacks. 1 more Heliogenesis. 2 actually, and then basic attack will take that medic out right there. Go ahead and check that bush, move in, and then I realized that my team is fighting 2v3. I'm not sure why, but I guess they didn't really have a choice. Here we see Jewel ulting. I get a very good ult off. It hits all 3 of them. I know that Taka is going to be after me, but he's very low on energy, so that was my one, advantage there. I go ahead and use that to my advantage. I actually come back, which is unfortunate. But here we see just me dropping the Heliogenesis over and over again, and he Kaiten's up, but he's not going to be able to finish me off there because I probably had the Crucible. If I did not have the Crucible, I would be long dead. And then I come back and just very risky trying to protect my turret. Even though Taka's here, we're waiting for Jewel so Jewel can come back because Taka's also very low. So we see Jewel respawn. Just keep dropping the Heliogenesis. I'm literally sticking behind the turret because I have the range. I can do that. I see Jewel here. That's my time to back. I go ahead and pick up tier 2 boots, travel boots, and now we're going to go ahead and head back out. However, I have to wait to heal up. 156 per tick, and we should be good in a couple seconds here. So, heading back out, we see Taka with a tornado trigger, 2 fountains, journey boots on the other team. So very on the tanky side, actually. And then you see Arden with a Crucible and a Fountain, and then you see Jewel with, I believe, a bunch of weapon power. I would have to recheck that, but that's what I believe that she had. So yeah, that's what we are going off of this time. Alright, so we're going to head down, just making sure I was recording there. I face checked that bush because I knew that they weren't in there, because I had vision with the Heliogenesis, one of the reasons why I love Celeste. Vox actually used to be my other main before he was turned into a weapon carry. He can still be used crystal, but not as good, obviously. But yeah, Vox, his second ability, was also able to check bushes. This fight, I position myself differently. As you can see, I get away from the fight. I wait for Jewel to nuke them first, and then I go in, I pop my Crystal Infusion, and then I just start burning them down with my Heliogenesis. As you can see, they're all grouped up, so I get the kill on Arden, Taka gets the kill on Jewel, and then I trust that he's going to be able to go after him and win, so I just go ahead and start cracking. I wait till I get the ace buff, and then Taka's going to come back and help me. But 361 on that one Heliogenesis, so very impressive damage there. 501 on the Supernova. We're burning this thing down pretty quickly. Taka has some pretty nice lifesteal. He's getting healed. I can't actually see how much he is getting healed because we're not in spectator mode. I think you can see that in spectator mode. I'm not sure. But as you can see, 480 damage to the turret, 523 for a Supernova. Celeste, one of her strongest things is taking down turrets very fast because of her Heliogenesis. Right here, I'm not sure if that's a glitch, but the minions are so big, especially the big one. His gun is like the size of me. So I thought that was funny. The minions with the ace buff. And then I wait because I see that their entire team is respawn. I wait for backup from the Kraken. And my team, Heliogenesis over the wall, actually gets some damage onto Arden and Jewel. Keep Supernova. I obviously can't target the Kraken because it's mine. So I try to keep targeting the enemy team while staying out of danger from the turret. As you can see, Jewel jumps in on me, I Crucible, and then ult immediately after to try to get as much damage on them as possible. I will go down, but that's going to leave an easy finish for Jewel to go ahead and ult. She has a Crystal Jewel, which has, obviously a lot of power with her ult. 520% crystal ratio. Storm and Mormon is going to go down, and you can see that the game is coming to a close here. So Taka actually is going to go down because he couldn't escape the gauntlet. If he ran through the gauntlet, he was going to die. If he stayed in the gauntlet, he was going to die. If he ran against the turret and tried to attack that, he was going to die. So, he didn't really care because all he did was try to get as much damage on the turret. He knew that Jewel would be able to finish, and she, would be able to... Actually, I do pick up the Eve of Harvest. There we go. So I have a Crucible, 1 Eve of Harvest, and 2 Shatter Glasses at the end of the game here. And the thing is, Jewel could have finished. I'm not sure why she didn't. They had 10 seconds left, 11 seconds left. So I'm not sure why. I just said, okay. I was like, not exactly sure why. But I figured, okay, let's go ahead and regroup. Wait for Taka to come back up, which should be pretty soon. I actually did one more jungle clear because I wanted to get an infusion. I knew this one was about to run out, so I went back down into the jungle. Got an infusion, or not got an infusion, but I farmed up minions. These ones actually gave me a lot. Depending on how long they're sitting there, they give you more gold. So, as you can see, that one gave me 46 because somebody had already gotten it earlier, but the ones in the back, they give me 105, I think they were per pop. So, pretty nice. 33 and 33 for those. Those have actually been, the cost of those has been gone. So then after that wave clear, or after that jungle clear, I've easily enough to buy a Crystal Infusion. For most carries, they buy a Crystal Infusion and a Weapon Infusion, but Celeste is the only one where you really don't do that, because, and Scarf maybe, because it's just worthless. As you can see, Jewel ults, and that's most of the damage, but then Taka comes on to me. I actually get an awesome Solar Storm off, which gets them off to less than half health like it has the entire game, and then my team is just able to finish up. So as you can see, not carrying the team here by any means, but I'm definitely getting down the enemy team, very low, so my Jewel can, ult, Taka can pick them off, that kind of thing. We didn't really have a designated tank this game, which was one thing I was concerned about when we were picking in the lobby. However, they had too much tankiness, they didn't have enough damage. They obviously bursted down me, but then meanwhile you have Taka doing amazing single target damage, and you have Jewel who's doing really good multi-target damage. So we had 2 stuns, we had, 2 stuns are always good. They had Taka, Arden, and Jewel, so they had 1 stun, more or less. Arden, I guess, is a stun, but it's not a reliable stun. Jewel's, I guess you can argue, is somewhat reliable or not reliable, but it's definitely more reliable than Arden's Gauntlet. This time we had Celeste's mine Core Collapse, which is probably the most reliable stun out of all of them. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And for all things Vainglory, you guys know what to do. Keep fresh and chilling with Nothin But Boom. I'm Matt, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode.